Hello and welcome back to Foothills Briar. I'm Gareth, still. It's been a while. Yeah, we're just at the tail end of June now. And I'm not sure I think the last video I uploaded was probably when I went out camping at the end of April, I think. So it's been like 2 months. I've just been busy with different things and just I haven't had as many good opportunities to sit down and just shoot a quick video, I guess. But anyway, here I am. Haven't gone anywhere. Recently, I've been riding bikes a lot more than I had been. I really should have been doing more of that earlier this spring, and I wasn't, but I finally got rolling on that. Get myself back into good bike riding shape. Which if I would do it more, I would, not have to get back into shape with it. But anyway, something I enjoy doing a lot, and helps keep me healthier. So something I really should do. But I finally got a gravel bike, which is basically a road type bike that's made for riding gravel roads. Wider tires with some tread on them, that sort of thing. Some other differences, but been wanting to get one of those for about the last 5 years, and something always came up that used my my gravel bike funds for something else, like house down payments and such, surgeries. But I finally got one, and so I've been out having a lot of fun exploring a lot of the gravel roads around here because we have so many around here. And back at the beginning of this month, I went to the Unbound gravel race, which goes out of Emporia, Kansas, and I watched that as much as you can watch it, kind of go into the start and the finish, and like the two main checkpoints along the way the riders go through. Kind of figure out the timings, like how fast the kind of lead group of riders is going, so you know about when you need to leave to drive to the next town, sort of thing. So that was a lot of fun. A couple weeks later, I took my gravel bike out to the Flint Hills, and I actually rode, I don't know, like 16 or so miles worth of the course. It's kind of an area south of where I grew up. I grew up in the more northern part of the Flint Hills. But they some very great gravel riding to be had out there. But anyway, so yeah, I've been doing a lot of bike riding. I'm actually here on later in July. I'm going to go down to Emporia and do a nighttime bike ride, like a 50-mile ride that begins at 7 p.m. and you just need to get back to Emporia by 11:30. But I signed up for it. It's a little bit more of a thing, I guess, than I realized, because like as part, you pay your entry fee or whatever to do the ride, and you get like a water bottle and like a Vit water bottle, and you get like a couple drink tickets and a meal ticket, so there's food and drink and stuff, and like the aid stations where they probably have water, sports drinks, bananas, snacks, things like that, in addition to that, which I'm used to going out on long rides and supplying myself, so those aid stations really aren't a big deal to me. But yeah, the one more bike thing. The Tour de France started yesterday, so I always try to watch that as much as I can every year. I've done that for the past about 9 years now. It's a lot of fun. Good watching most of the time. Some of the stages are more interesting than others. Some of them are a little bit boring. Some of the flat ones were that seem to go on and on and on forever. But anyway, I wanted to I feel like talking about some stuff which I kind of don't want to talk about at the same time, because I don't really want to get into it. But obviously, I'm conflicted in how I feel about a lot of this stuff, and I'm trying to figure out how I should feel about some of this stuff. Obviously, there's been this thing that happened recently amongst the YouTube pipe world. I missed somebody said some things which I don't know if that's was on a video that's been taken down or what, but I missed that. I can imagine what was probably said. And I feel that whatever exactly the words were and how they were said, shouldn't have really been said, at least out of a charity sort of thing. We all goof up. I'm not passing judgment on somebody else's goof up, but it's probably, I think it was probably unfortunate, but at the same time, I'm not sure I really have a big problem with it, maybe. There's another party involved with that, which I watched one of their videos about a year ago, and I very quickly figured out where they stood and what they were about, and yeah. As far as I'm concerned, that individual really just needs to find a new thing to put his energy into. That's all I can really say there. But anyway, where I'm conflicted about some things are I'm smoking some Warhorse Green in this Medico that I got off of eBay a few months back. It's a good shape. Top of the pipe though is a little rough. I was wondering if I could maybe clean that up a bit, maybe wax it up a bit, but I figured this Medico might be good for Warhorse because I found that it packs a decent nicotine punch, and at least this pipe has a smaller bowl, so limits how much I can put in there. But yeah, I'm kind of conflicted about how to feel about certain things, because there's a certain person involved in this, obviously, who has gone through a certain spiritual conversion, I guess, journey, conversion, whatever you want to call it, to the religion that I belong to. And seems like it's been a very genuine thing. I mean, I don't know why you would say that in any sort of way that wasn't genuine, because it's brought him a lot of issues with his own family, his parents and friends, former friends. So I don't know why you would, I don't know why you would say that you're going that route if you weren't, sincere about it. And I feel a certain camaraderie, I guess, a certain spiritual brotherhood in a sense, I guess, with that person because of that. And I think it's a wonderful thing. I think it's a great thing for that person. I am kind of conflicted about what to think and believe about certain other things that that person says. He obviously has certain opinions about certain things in U.S. history, which I'm kind of confused about. So basically, all it. So that kind of like, that person says certain things and has certain opinions about things, which that's fine. They can think whatever they want. I guess what that's done for me, though, is for one thing, it's caused me to look more into U.S. history myself. I actually used to be a history major for just a short amount of time. I've always been interested in history, although I used to find U.S. history to be on the more boring side. I always liked Western Civ and stuff like that. I found it a lot more interesting. Whereas U.S. history always seemed to come down to like the which act of Congress did what, and who the Supreme Court Chief Justice was, and just I don't it just I find that to be drier and more boring, I guess. But anyway, I started researching, learning about the U.S. Civil War more recently, and started listening to like the audiobook versions of Shelby Foote's Civil War trilogy, and I have. My mom gave me my parents gave me the box set of the books for my birthday a year and a half ago, whatever. And anyway, I know it's for what it's worth. I watched Ken Burns's Civil War PBS series over a year ago. And I know a lot of people criticize that and criticize Ken Burns. I always assumed that the criticism was coming more from a place of basically that he was looking at it from too liberal of a lens, and that that maybe this is where things get the question of what you should believe comes up, but maybe slavery was portrayed in a light regarding that war that was maybe overemphasized, and maybe other things were less emphasized, other causes and stuff like that. So I assumed that it was maybe from people were criticizing it as being kind of too liberal, too northern based, too slavery based, whatever. But I just looked at this up the other day, and it seems like most of the criticism that I can find are people who think that he was too was too easy on the Confederacy, basically. That you know gave in too much to that whole Confederate lost cause thing for a number of reasons. Like people complained that he featured Shelby Foote too much on the thing, and said some other stuff, which just surprised me. I kind of expected the criticism to be the other way around, but anyway, because I know that I know at least one person who has somewhat more friendly feelings towards the Confederacy, who doesn't like Ken Burns and his stuff, and there's other people I think have the complete opposite mindset that don't like Ken Burns and his stuff. So whatever. But anyway, what this is all leading to is I have found myself really struggling to figure out like what I should believe, frankly, relating to the U.S. Civil War and its causes and the people behind it. And I just don't really know what to believe, who to trust. Um, I think that obviously slavery was really the bedrock driving cause of that. I think if you eliminate slavery, a lot of the other things that were causes of the war kind of go away. So it's not whether I believe that, slavery was behind it, because it was, but it's not that simple, though, you know. But that's the thing. I want to understand how it's not that simple in a factual manner. I don't want to just read some book that somebody wrote that. I want to read books that are factual and reflect reality, I guess. Because some people say certain things, other people say other things. I just find, for whatever reason, I find that particular subject in U.S. history to be very confusing and to be very hard to know who to trust, frankly, and kind of bothers me. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm the kind of person that likes to know how things are. I mean, some people probably just don't really care. I mean, a lot of people are stupidly ignorant of history, and it's sad, but I'm not one of those people. I kind of like to understand things. And I don't know, that's one thing I just feel like there's there's probably more than two sides to it, but there definitely are two sides to those opinions and all that, and it's hard to wade through the muck in between and know exactly what the reality is, because you kind of grow up, especially in the more northern parts of the country, at least in a free state. Kansas was famously a free state. We actually kind of had the preamble to the Civil War was fought in the eastern part of our state between the free stater people in Kansas and the slave state people in Missouri. Didn't really have any of the Civil War fought in Kansas, I don't think, but we had the lead up fought in Kansas. But anyway, growing up here, we're definitely out on the northern side of things, and you learn slavery bad, Abraham Lincoln wonderful, all that, and then you kind of find out like, Abraham Lincoln, not saying he's a bad dude, but wasn't necessarily the sainted, most perfect president in the world. He obviously didn't think too much of making sure he abided by the Constitution in all things, stuff like that. So yeah, reality is just it's trickier and it's messier than you would like, and it's just hard to know what to think. I find this kind of interesting. Was been thinking about this for quite a while now, and decided to sit down and talk about it. And I just watched Mike Keenrod Piper's. Yeah, Keenrod Piper's. Is that right? The Keenrod Piper. I don't know. I see his thing all the time, but you guys know what I'm talking about, I'm sure. If not, look him up. Just did a video about like what how do we know what to believe these days, sort of thing. But yeah, it's this drama crap is unfortunate. It's a messy situation because it's not. It's also a thing that's not as black and white as would be nice, I guess. And I kind of feel like I've already described. There's certain aspects of it I feel genuine care about, and then there's other aspects of it I don't really care that much about. But at the same time, it prompts me to wonder about things, about how I understand things, that sort of thing. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking in circles, which is where I'm going. Have been going for this for a little bit, so thanks for joining me. I don't know when. I have some stuff going on here pretty soon, um, that it's going to keep me occupied outside of just the bike stuff. And so yeah, I don't know. I'll try to find some time to sit down and record more videos and that when I can. But thanks for joining me. I'm Gareth with Full Nose Bar. See you next time.